What if I told you that not all buildings follow the rules of traditional architecture? Some structures look like they defy gravity, melt like illusions, or come straight out of a sci-fi movie. From dancing buildings to inverted pyramids, architects around the world have pushed the boundaries of design in the most mind-bending ways. Would you live in a house made of cardboard, or step inside a building that looks like it's about to collapse? Stick around, because these 7 bizarre buildings will completely change how you see architecture. Ready? Let's dive in. The Crooked House, Sopot, Poland. Have you ever seen a building that looks like it's straight out of a dream, or maybe a fever dream? Meet the Crooked House in Sopot, Poland, a structure that looks like reality itself is bending. Designed by architects Sotinci Zaleski and inspired by fairy tale illustrations, this building defies logic with its wavy, distorted exterior. It almost seems to melt into the ground like a Dali painting, making it one of the most photographed and mind-bending buildings in the world. Now, here's the crazy part. This isn't some whimsical theme park attraction, it's actually part of a shopping complex. Imagine walking inside and feeling like you've stepped into an alternate reality where the walls curve and the ceilings feel, well, a little off. While the exterior plays tricks on your eyes, the interior is surprisingly normal, until you look outside again and see the world warping around you. What makes this building even more fascinating is how it interacts with its surroundings. At night, when the lights glow through its twisted windows, the Crooked House transforms into something even more surreal. It feels like a place where fairy tales, cartoons, and the laws of physics had a wild party. And somehow, this was the result. Would you dare to step inside this distorted wonder, or would the illusion be too much to handle? Let me know what you think. Would you visit a place where reality seems to glitch? Habitat 67, Montreal, Canada. Imagine living inside a Lego-inspired futuristic village stacked high in the sky. That's exactly what Habitat 67 in Montreal looks like, a gravity-defying maze of concrete cubes, redefining how we think about urban living. Designed by the legendary Moshe Safdie in the 1960s, this architectural wonder was supposed to be the future of housing, a place where apartment life could still feel like living in a house. So, what's the big deal? Instead of boring, uniform apartment blocks, Habitat 67 is made up of 354 stacked concrete modules, each shifted and positioned uniquely to create natural light, airflow, and private terraces for every resident. The result? A floating, interconnected neighborhood that looks like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. But here's where it gets even cooler. This design wasn't just for looks. It was built for the Expo 67 World Fair as an experimental solution to the problem of dense urban living. Safdie wanted to blend the best of high-rise apartments with the open-air freedom of suburban homes. The interlocking units create hidden walkways, unexpected rooftop gardens, and secret little pockets of space, making every apartment feel one of a kind. Even today, over 50 years later, this place is still a major architectural landmark. But would you actually want to live here? It's a mix of brutalist concrete and futuristic design, but hey, it beats a plain old glass tower, right? Would you rather live in a traditional house or a mind-bending structure like this? Let me know. The Dancing House, Prague, Czech Republic. What if a building could dance? No, really, what if an actual structure looked like it was swaying to the rhythm of music? Welcome to the Dancing House in Prague, a building that throws all architectural rules out the window and replaces them with pure artistic movement. Designed by Frank Gehry and Vlado Milunik, this masterpiece was completed in 1996, and trust me, it does not look like your typical European building. While Prague is known for its historic Gothic and Baroque architecture, the Dancing House is like a rebellious artist crashing the party. Its design mimics a pair of dancers, with one leaning into the other as if lost in an elegant ballroom routine. No wonder locals nicknamed it Fred and Ginger, after the legendary dance duo Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. But here's the real kicker. This building isn't just about looking cool, it symbolizes the transformation of Prague after the fall of communism. The dynamic curves represent a new, free-flowing era, breaking away from rigid, uniform structures of the past. Inside, it's home to offices, a gallery, and a rooftop restaurant with jaw-dropping views of the city. But let's be honest, you'd probably spend more time just staring at it from the outside, trying to wrap your head around how a building can look like it's in the middle of a dance move. So, what do you think? Would you love to visit this dancing marvel, or does it make your brain hurt just looking at it? The Inverted Pyramid, Arizona, USA. A pyramid is supposed to have a strong, wide base and a narrow top, right? Well, not in Arizona. Meet the inverted pyramid, a building that flips logic upside down and somehow still manages to stand tall. Officially known as the Tempe Municipal Building, this structure was built in 1971, and instead of getting wider at the bottom, it expands at the top, defying every expectation of stability. It's like someone grabbed a normal pyramid, flipped it over, and just left it that way. But here's where things get even crazier. It's not just for show. The unique shape actually serves an environmental purpose. Since Tempe is blazing hot, the building's overhanging top shades the lower floors, keeping them cooler. This reduces energy costs while also creating a striking visual effect. Basically, it's not just weird, it's smart weird. And if you think that's all, check this out. The building's interior is designed to give the illusion that you're inside an upside-down pyramid. The windows angle inward, making you feel like the whole structure is floating above you. It's one of those places where you walk in feeling fine and leave questioning reality. So here's my question, would you trust working inside an inverted pyramid, or does the whole thing feel like it's just one wrong move away from toppling over? The Cardboard Cathedral, Christchurch, New Zealand. What if I told you there's a massive cathedral made almost entirely out of cardboard? Sounds like a DIY project gone too far, right? But trust me, this is no ordinary cardboard box. It's an architectural masterpiece that stands as a symbol of hope and resilience in Christchurch, New Zealand. After the devastating 2011 earthquake destroyed the city's iconic Christchurch Cathedral, something needed to be done. Fast. That's when Shigeru Ban, a world-renowned architect known for using unconventional materials, stepped in. His idea? Build a temporary but sturdy cathedral using 96 cardboard tubes, along with timber and steel. And guess what? This temporary structure has lasted for over a decade and has become one of the most beloved landmarks in the city. Now if you're wondering, wait, isn't cardboard weak? Well, not this kind. These tubes are waterproof, fire-resistant, and incredibly durable. They form a stunning A-frame structure that stands 69 feet tall with colorful stained glass panels that give it a warm, ethereal glow when sunlight filters through. But here's what makes this place truly special. It's not just a church, it has hosted community events, concerts, and even art exhibitions, proving that great architecture isn't just about materials, it's about purpose. So tell me, would you feel safe inside a cardboard cathedral, or would you be side-eyeing the walls every time it rained? Rooftop remodeling, Falkestrasse, Vienna, Austria. Imagine walking through the charming historic streets of Vienna, surrounded by elegant 19th century buildings, and then suddenly, bam! You look up and see a futuristic alien-like structure exploding out of a rooftop. Welcome to Rooftop Remodeling, Falkestrasse, a building that looks like a spaceship crash-landed onto a classical European building. Designed by Coop Himmelbiau in 1988, this architectural rebel is all about breaking the rules. The firm specializes in deconstructivist architecture, meaning they love to create structures that look like they're in constant motion. Jagged, chaotic, and completely unexpected. This rooftop extension bursts out in sharp, angular steel and glass forms, looking more like a sci-fi set than an office space. But here's the real shocker. This isn't some fancy artist studio or tech lab. Nope, it's a law office. That's right, inside this mind-bending structure, lawyers are sitting at desks working on legal cases. Talk about a contrast. The whole point of this design was to challenge the strict, rigid nature of classical architecture by literally breaking out of it. The original structure remains untouched below, while the new addition seems to erupt like an architectural rebellion. So, what do you think? Does this wild rooftop design ruin the historic charm of Vienna? Or is it a genius masterpiece that proves old and new can coexist in the coolest way possible? Parc de la Villette, Follies, Paris, France. What if a park wasn't just a park, but an architectural playground designed to mess with your perception? Welcome to Parc de la Villette in Paris, a place where buildings don't look like buildings, and structures seem to exist purely to challenge your imagination. Designed by Bernard Tschumi in 1987, this park is home to 26 bizarre bright red structures, known as Follies. And no, these aren't just random sculptures. They serve real purposes like information centers, rest areas, and exhibition spaces. But here's the fun part. None of them look like anything you'd expect. Some are giant cubes with missing pieces, others have twisting staircases leading to nowhere, and a few seem to be stacked in impossible ways like a surrealist painting. Why, you ask? Because this entire park was designed to be an experiment in space and movement. Tschumi wanted visitors to engage with the park differently each time they walk through it. The structures aren't there to blend in, they're there to make you stop and ask, what on earth am I looking at? And that's what makes this place so unique. Unlike traditional parks where everything is laid out neatly, Parc de la Villette plays with your expectations. It forces you to interact, explore, and even get a little lost in its maze of unexpected shapes and forms. So what do you think? Would you love to wander through this architectural wonderland, or would it leave you scratching your head wondering what kind of futuristic game you just stepped into? Architecture is more than just buildings. It's about challenging the impossible and redefining how we experience space. From dancing structures to gravity-defying wonders, these bizarre buildings prove that creativity has no limits. Which one amazed you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you love exploring mind-blowing architecture and design, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more. This is DwellScape, and I'll see you in the next episode, where architecture meets the extraordinary.